Hello everyone, welcome again to another video. So in today's video I'm going to teach you how to make this beautiful mini beaded bag. Let's get started. Hello and welcome back again. So I have on my table here this clear crystal bead in 10mm. Okay, this bead is in 10mm. This is how it's looking like. Very clear, and it's a clear crystal bead I'm going to use. I have here my 50-pound beading wire, and this is how the thickness is looking like. And this is my little plier that I'll be using to cut any loose thread. So let me push these beads aside and let's get started. So we are going to start with 4 beads. I'm going to put all these 4 beads on the line. 2, 3, 4. So I string all 4 beads on the line. So I'm going to hold my last bead and go through it with my other line and pull. This is how it's looking like. We have 4 flower beading. This technique is 4 flower beading. Okay, they are going to share one in common. So we are going to add 3 more. And now I put one bead on my line, and I'm going to cross both ends of my line into this bead and pull like this. Now we have 2 flowers. Okay, on each line add one bead on each line and cross both ends like this. Okay, then I'm going to cross both ends into this bead. Cross both ends, pull down. Now we have 3 flowers like this. We are going to add more 3. Okay, I'm going to put one on each line like this. Now I'm going to cross both ends of my line into this one and pull. So now we have 4. So now that I have 4, I'm going to make 6 more on this one. Okay, now I have my 10 over here. These are 10 flowers. So now that we make 10, I'm going to turn on 11. So this line, I'm going to add all 3 beads on it like this. Then I'm going to cross the last one with my other line and pull. That way my line can turn on the side so we can start another row. So on this line, I add 3 beads to my line, and I'm going to cross with my other line and pull like this. I'm going to go through the next bead, go to the next bead, and I'll be adding 2 beads. So I add 2 beads to my other line, I'm crossing and pull. This is how it's looking like. I'm going to go through the next bead again, and I add 2 beads. Into the next bead, 2 beads. This is how the weave is looking like. So we're going to continue to the end, and here I am. I'm going to go through the last bead into the last bead. I'm pulling my line through the last bead over here, and on the same line I'm adding 2 beads to it like this. And I'm going to cross with my other line and pull, and that way my length turn on the side again, and now we'll start a new roll again. So I'm just flipping it over to my side. Okay, this is how it is. My line turn to the side. So this line, 3 beads. I'm going to go to the next bead and add 2 beads. Into the next 2 beads. We are going to go through all the edge bead and add 2 beads. I'm going through the next bead, and I'll be adding 2 beads to my line. And this is how the weave is looking like. This is the technique we are going to repeat throughout the entire weave. So now we make 3. We are on a 3 row. We are going to make 4 and 5. So we are making 5 rows in all. And here is my 5 row. I'm done with 5 row off camera. This is my line. We are going to continue to build on this one. Okay, I'm going through the side bead over here. This is the edge bead. So with this is what I'm going to use. This is 8mm crystal bead, clear, you see the sides are not the same. So because I don't want a perfect square for the corners, that's why I'm changing bead over here. So I start with 3 bead. I'm using 8mm crystal clear bead. I start with 3 bead. I'm going to go into the next bead. I'm going to go into the next bead. I'm adding 2 bead to my line. So again, I'm going to go to the next bead, add 2 bead to my line, into the next bead. So what I'm doing here, I'm going through all the edge bead and adding 2 bead to my other line. Then this is what we are going to repeat round this shape until we complete this row. Go through it into the next bead, 2 bead. I'm going to go to the next bead. So if you reach the corner, just go right into the next bead and add 2 bead. The same way you're weaving, you are going to continue and complete the same way. Into the next bead, 2 bead. I add 2 bead. I'm crossing and pull. And this is how the weave is looking like. So we are going to go around this shape until we complete. And now I'm on the last bead over here. This is how the shape I want it to take. Okay, this is the shape that I want. Into the next bead, I'm going to go through my last bead over here. Okay, this is my last bead. I'm going through this one in the middle over here. Then I'm going to put my line to this one, the side bead over here. And the number of bead that I need, only 1 bead, this one. Cross and pull. So we need only 1 bead over here to complete the first row. So over here for the first row, I'm just going to tie my line over here so that the line will not slip out. Just to make it safe and secured, I'm tying my line over here, okay, for this first row. So I'm going to hold this one, okay, and I'm going to pull it back through this bead. I'm going to hold it, pull it back, pull it through, okay. And this is how it's looking like. So we have the line in position to start weaving. I add 3 bead to my line again to start another row. Now I'm going to go through the next bead, and I'll be adding 2 bead to my line. 2 bead. I'm going to go to the next bead. We are repeating the same technique over here. I'm going to repeat the same technique throughout the entire weave. I add 2 bead to my line. So this is how the weave is looking like. We are going to continue until we complete this. So we are going to make 3 rows like this. So this is how the shape is looking like, and we are going to go ahead and continue to build on this with pearl. This time I'm going to use pearls to continue. So this is how it's looking like, and this is where my line is. Okay, my line is in this bead over here. We are going to start with 3 pearls. I'm using 8mm pearls over here, and we are starting with 3. I put 3 on the line, and I'm crossing the last one and pull. Cross and pull. And now we are going to go into the next bead, and I'll be adding 2 bead to my line. We are repeating the same thing with the pearls over here. So I'm going to weave on, continue weaving with my pearls over here. 2 bead. Into the next bead. If you reach the corner, just go right into the corner bead and continue your weaving. 2 bead. I'm going to go to the next bead. 2 bead. Into the next. 2 bead. I'm going through the edge bead and adding 2 bead to my line. Into the next bead, I'm adding 2 bead to my line. Cross and pull. So let's go ahead, continue all around. And now I'm all halfway, about to be done with this row. I'm just going through the edge bead and adding two bead. Into the next bead, 2 bead. Into the next bead, 2 bead. I'm going to go to the next bead and add 2 bead to my line. So this is how we are going to weave until we complete with the row. So I'm just going to go ahead with the pearls and weave around with the pearls, and I build on it 6. I go around with the pearls 6 rows. Okay, this is how it's looking like. This is 6 rows. I go around on it 6 times. So the next thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to create an illusion with one line. Okay, this is my line. I'm going to go through this bead over here, this one. Okay, I'm going to pull my line through that bead over here. I'm going to use a dark pink pearls to create one line illusion. This one. This is how the color is. We are going to create an illusion on the edge over here, and it's going to look very pretty. So I'm pulling my line through that bead over there like this. Okay, let me turn it this way for you guys to see. So I add 3 beads to my line, 2 pink and one white, like this. This is how it's looking like. Okay, this is how we are going to start. I'm going to go through the next bead and now add 1 pink and 1 white pearl. So I pick white first before the pink. So all pinks must be in one line. Okay, so I'm going to go through. This is how it's looking like. I'm going to go to the next bead again. I'll add 1 pink and 1 white. Into the next bead, 2 bead. Into the next bead. Just feel free to use the colors of your choice. Maybe you decide to put blue, green or yellow to make the line. 2 bead. Into the next bead, 2 bead. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go through all the edge bead and add 2 bead to my line. First, I pick up white pearl before the dark pink pearl to make that illusion. This bag is perfect for any occasions, and feel free to wherever you want to take it to. It's very pretty and a beautiful bag that we are making. Two bead. I'm going to go to all these edge bead and add 2 bead to my line. I'm pulling to the next bead, 2 bead. We are almost there. Very pretty. Look at how the pink is creating this perfect shaped line into the bead. Very bold and beautiful. This is a dark pink pearl. Dark pink pearls that I have. It looks very beautiful. So I have one more to wait. I'm going to go to the last bead over here and add 1 white and 1 pink, but the rest is going to be all white pearls. So I'm adding my last pink over here. Then the rest of the line, I'm just going to weave with white pearls and complete. I'm just going to go ahead and complete with 2 pearls. Okay, I'm going to continue with 2 pearls, 2 white pearls, no more dark pink. The rest of the weave around is going to be pearls. This is how it's looking like. Very pretty, very dark pink, pretty. So we're going to use all white to complete the bag. I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera, then I'll come back and meet you over here. 2 bead. I'm going to go to the next bead, continue round and complete, and this is how it's looking like. Very beautiful bag. It's a very pretty, very beautiful. This is the pink we put over here, and the rest of the bag is white, and it's look very, very beautiful. Let me show you how we are going to make the handle on this bag. Let me cut this line first before we continue. Okay, now this is my line I cut in my hand. I'm going to pull it through this bead. This is the handle we are going to create over here. 3 beads. I'm starting with 3 beads, okay? Now into the next bead. This is how it's looking like. Start with 3 beads. This bead. Go to the next bead and add 2 beads to your line. 2 beads. I'm going to go through the next bead. And this time the line that I used to go through the bead, I'm going to add bead to the same line like this. Then I'm crossing and pull. That way my line can turn so I can build on this one. This is how it's looking like. This line, 3 bead. I'm going to go to the next bead, into the next bead. Add 2 beads to the line. Now I'm going to go to the last bead over here. This is the 3rd bead that I'm going through, and the same line I'm going to add this line. I'm going to add 2 beads to it. 2 beads. Now this is how the weave is looking like. I add 3 beads again to my line. I'm going to go through the next bead and add 2 beads. To the next 2 bead. 2 bead. So I'm adding 2 beads to complete this row and step up and then continue my weaving. And now we complete the 3rd row, and this is how it's looking like. So this is where my line is. My line is in this bead over here. This bead on the edge bead over here, okay? So I'm going to fold in a little bit like this, push in a little bit. We are going to close it. So before that, I'm going to add 1 bead to my line. I'm adding 1 bead to my line like this. Then I'm going to fold in again, push it in like this. Let me give it a push. Then I'm going to go to this bead. I'm pulling my line through this bead over here like this. This is the bead I add to my line. Don't forget to add 1 bead to your line before you go through that bead. Then I'm going to take another bead like this. Then I'm going to cross both ends of my line into it and pull. This is how it's looking like, okay? And now we are going to continue to weave. So on this 4 bead over here on top, that's where we are going to work with. So this line, I'm going to start with 3 bead. I teach this in a video, so I will link the video down there for you, so you know how to weave this. Into the next bead, I'm going to the next bead, and I'm adding 2 bead. Into the next bead, 2 bead. My line is in this bead, okay? 2 bead. Then I'm going to go through the middle bead and the side bead, this one and this one. Go to the middle and the side bead over here. So the number of beads we need to complete is only 1. Take 1, cross both ends of your line and pull. This line, 3 bead. I'm going to go through the next bead, into the next bead, two bead. I add 2 beads to my line. I'll be pulling my line through the next bead again, and I add 2 beads to my line. Now we are going to step up again. I'm going to go through the middle bead, this and this one, the middle and the side bead. I'm going to go through the side bead over here, and the number of bead we need, only 1 bead. So I'm going to cross into this 1 bead and pull like this. This is how our weave is looking like. This is how the handle is looking like. So I'm going to weave it and weave it long. I'm going to continue ahead, weave it and weave it long for my design length. So I add 3 to my line again. And I'm going to go through the next bead, 2 bead, into the next bead, 2 bead. I'm going to go through the last bead and the side bead. So this one and this one. I'm going through the middle one first, and I'm going to go through the side bead like this. 1 bead I need to complete this row, like this. So this is how it's looking like, and I'm going to do the rest off camera, and I'll come and meet you back here. I'm going to do it long. I think this length is long enough for this bag, so I'm just going to show you how I'm going to attach it on the other side. So this is the final row we are going to make. This line I'm going to add 3 bead to it, 3 bead. Then I'm going to cross the last one and pull. This is the final row we are going to make. I'm going to go to the next bead. Then I'll be adding 2 bead. So I'm going to go to the 3rd one again. This is the 3rd bead. I'm pulling my line through, okay? 2 bead. Now I'm not going to go through the 4th one. This is how it's going to be. So we are going to do only 3. So on the line, I'm going to add 1 bead to my line, and I'm going to go through a bead on the bag. This bead, I'm going to go through this one. Then again, I'm going to pick up 1 bead and cross both ends of my line into it and pull. So I'm crossing my line into this bead and pull, and I'm going to pull. Again, I'm going to go to the next bead, this one. I'm going to pull my line through this one. Then the other line, I'm going to go through a bead on the handle, this one. The next bead on the handle, okay? Now I'm going to take another bead again, cross both ends of my line into it and pull. Now I'm going to go to the final bead. I'm going to go to the last one, this one. Go through it. Now the other line, go through the last bead, this one, on the handle. Go to the last bead over there. Take 1 bead, cross both ends of your line into it and pull. And that is it. That's how it's supposed to be. So over here, I'm just going to tie. I'm just going to tie over here and then whip the rest of the line into the bead before I trim it off. I'm going to weave a little bit back into the bead. Make sure it's well secured enough before I trim it off. Very simple, very beautiful. This is how it's looking like. Very, very beautiful. So I have this bow over here. I have a teaching on it too. It's on my channel, okay? So I'm going to, I don't know where to put it. Should we put it here, the top and the down, or which one? So I put it on top. This is how it's looking like. This is the top and here is the down. I put it on the down a little bit down of it, and it's looking pretty. It looks better than I put it in the bag, but wherever you choose to put it, okay, that's your choice. That will be your choice and your liking. So I choose to put it a little bit down, and it looks very, very beautiful. And this is the bag. This is what we are weaving. So for the shoulder, this is how it's looking like. Those who like to hang bag on shoulder, I'm going to hang this hook over here, and I'm going to put chain in it. I'm going to show you how you can add chain to your bag. So I'm pulling my line through this bead, this one over here. I'm using 6mm bead, 6mm pearls that I'm using. I add one on each line. Then I'm picking one, and I'm going to cross both ends of my line into it and pull. Again, I add one bead on each line. Then I'm going to cross again both ends of my line into this one and pull. So I'm going to go ahead. This is how it's looking like, and I'm going to go ahead and attach this snap hook onto the bag. So I'm going to pull both ends of my line through this hook and then attach it to the bag, and I'm going to wrap my bead around it. This is the weave that I make like a little bolt over here. So I'm going to wrap it. I'm going to cross both ends of my line into this bead, this one. Cross both ends of my line into this bead and pull. Now I'm pulling the other one. Okay, now what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to weave the rest of the line into the bead before I trim it off. So what I'm doing here, I'm just going through a couple of beads. Make sure the line is well secured enough before I trim it off. I'm going to do this side, and this is how our hook is looking like. We put it on the side, very beautiful. You can hook your chain on it. It's open, okay, it's a snap hook over here. So you can open it and then put chain on it, remove it anytime you like. If you don't like chain, you take it out. That's how it's going to look like. Very beautiful. So we are going to do this other side too of the bag. And here is my line. I'm just going through this bead. I'm adding one bead on each line, pulling both ends of my line into this bead and pull. And I'm going to repeat the same thing. I pull one bead on each line, cross both ends of my line into a bead and pull. Now another bead. I'm going to go through the hook. Then I'm going to pull both ends of my line, cross it into the next bead. So I'm going to go through this bead down here, cross both ends of my line into the same bead and pull. Now I'm pulling both ends of my line through the next bead like this. And this is how the second one too is done, and this is how it's looking like. Okay, look at it, very pretty, very beautiful. So the hook is attached to both sides of the bag, and the rest of this line I'm just going to weave it back into the bead before I trim it off, like how I did for the first one. Look at how pretty this bag is looking like. And here is the chain that I'm going to use to hook on it. You just open the claw. So you just hook it onto the claw like this, and repeat for the second side too. Repeat the same thing over here, and then open the claw, and then hook your chain on it. Very, very beautiful. This is a cute bag. This is very, very beautiful bag. Look at our mini beaded bag. Very, very beautiful, very simple and easy to make. You don't need more bead or a lot of bead to make this. This is so simple. You can make it for your friends and loved ones. If you have a charm, an old charm, you can use it to hook on it and make it look like a store-bought. Look at how pretty this pearl beaded bag is looking like. Very, very beautiful. I thank you for watching. Thank you for your time, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, turn on your notification for any new video that I'll be uploading. Thank you for all your support that you are showing me. I'm so grateful to you guys. Thank you. And I will see you guys in my next video. So here is a charm that I have. Okay, here's a charm that I have. I'm going to pull it through this hole over here in the bowl, and the other one pull it through. Then I'll hold both and tie over there and just leave it like that. Look at how pretty it looks like. Very, very beautiful. Thank you for watching again, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.